Happy 4th. I'm hearing something outside. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Look, I got my red, white, and blue one. I got my Captain America one.
Oh, I didn't. I've been really bad today. It's just not been like, I've seen these. One of my neighbors is dressed in like complete red, white, and blue striped stuff. He's got a big circus clown hat with a red, white, and blue.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't done it. I don't know why.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, my goodness. Well, welcome in, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day here in the States. I know we actually have some people watching right now that are from the States, but it's a big day over here in the U.S. This is our Independence Day, 1776. Declaration of Independence. It's a big day here. It's one of our big days to celebrate. And we're going to do that tonight. Steve and I, we're going to talk about, we're going to add some Disney. Still no sports really to talk about just yet. So we thought, let's combine a little bit of 4th of July with Disney as well. And we're going to talk about some of our patriotic and favorite things at Disney that are specific to, patriotism and makes us really feel patriotic that happens at Disney. But before we get started, thank you, of course, to this guy right over here, Steve. Thanks for being here, buddy. How you been? What's going on?
I'm doing good. And Brian Eisenhart says, here's a question for everybody. They had the 4th of July in England. They have the 4th of July everywhere. It's just not Independence Day there. But anyways, yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing fantastic. It's just been a long weekend, a long week, preparing for a little vacation, though, hopefully soon. And but yeah, it's been good.
Good.
Real good.
Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy. I'm glad for sure. A little quick housekeeping, of course. Dan did not go live tonight. Had a few things come up, so unfortunately Dan couldn't go live. We miss you, Dan. Hope you're doing well, dude. I did send him an invite. If he can make it, great. If not, that's always good to get a British perspective.
I was going to say, that's ironic, isn't it?
I thought it would be perfect to get a British perspective on the American 4th of July, since that's where we got our independence from. But maybe Dan can make it. If not, no biggie, Dan. Hope you're doing well, buddy. But Dean over at the Live Place, theliveplace.com. Of course, check him out live. Family-friendly streams throughout the week. He's got what, Steve? Over 100 now, right?
Over 110.
Wow, crazy.
Growing fast.
Yep. And so if you're looking for a stream, obviously you're going to find it there. And of course, our two partner channels, we just talked about both of them. Dan, who usually goes live on Saturdays at Disney Fiasco, will be back tomorrow with me for Disney movie review, and we are reviewing Homeward Bound, Steve.
Nice.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorites.
Okay. I just got done.
What is that? That's Milo, Otis, and somebody, right?
Yes.
Sassy?
No.
Milo, Otis, and...
I can't remember the name of the older dog at this point.
Yeah.
But
anyways, Milo and Otis are two of them, I think.
Yep. We just got done watching it, Melissa and I, like a half an hour ago. So I'm ready for tomorrow. I'd never seen it. First time I had seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had never seen it. It's Michael J. Fox, it's Sally Field, and it's Don Amici. Those are the voices. So
Chase, Shadow, and Sassy.
There you go.
Sassy is one of them, but I just missed that. Milo and Otis. Where'd I get those two names from?
That's okay. I'm sure they're from another movie for sure. But yep, so that's tomorrow. And of course, Steve, my other partner channel, Steve's World, just another Monday night. Isn't that on Wednesday? And of course, right here on Saturday, buddy. Everything going good?
Everything's fantastic. Just
all right. Cool.
Celebrating our independence and all that good stuff. As social distancing as possible.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Let's say hi to a few people in the chat. Big Disney fan is here. One of our members, Wendy Luhu. Wendy, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Another member, James Ryan, is here. James, good to see you. Rachel's in the house. What's up, Rachel? Thanks for being here. Candy Mom 15, another one of our members, Cynthia. She's our first member. Cynthia, good to see you, dear. Let's see who else is here. Disney Nerd Herd, Charlie and Stacy. They say, hi, guys. We are just ending up last night's walk around boardwalk video with Walt and Melissa. Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate you watching it. James Garcia's in the house. What's up, James? Good to see you. Alex Brenner's here. Diz Our Dream, Angela and Jeff. We had breakfast this morning with them over at the boardwalk, Steve.
Nice.
And we had dinner with them last night.
Keep forgetting you're down there now.
Yeah. It was a great weekend. We had a great time for sure. Melissa Gover's in the house. Melissa, nice to meet you. Thank you for being here, Miss. Addiction Mouse is here. Addiction Mouse, welcome in. Good to see you. I think we're up to date, Steve. Let me take a look. Hold on. I don't want it to jump, so I'm trying to go slow. Brian's in the house. There's Brian. Brian Eisenhart, another one of our members. Good to see you. Oh yeah, with the 4th of July. That's funny. Yeah, there's a 4th of July everywhere.
Yeah,
we just call it Independence Day. And look who it is. It's Carlos, Disney World freak. What's up, buddy?
Carlos?
Carlos Steve. He's been knocking it out of the park. I got to give him credit. He's been watching Marvel movies.
Yes.
I can't believe it. He's actually doing it. Carlos, we can have a real conversation with you now, buddy. He's been doing great. I'm really proud of him. He's been doing awesome. He knows we kid because we care. Carlos, pal, keep it up. You're doing good. I think he's on Thor now. Good job. And I actually really enjoy Thor. That's just me. Tina Marie Photography, welcome in. Tina Marie, good to see you. Another one of our members. Tina, I hope you're doing well, dear. Good to see you. Mary Ellen is here. T-Town Mary Ellen, good to see you. It's been a while. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. And Steve, I think we're up to date.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cool beans. Now we might have, I'm going to tease it, Steve, no pressure. We might get some glimpses of fireworks from Steve outside. Maybe. We'll see. Potentially. And you know what's been breaking loose outside my window tonight. I've almost thought I had to call the cops twice. So.
Well, same here, except it's still like the sun is glaring outside still. So it's still not stopping people from letting off the loud booming ones. It's just, we might not see the pretty poofy ones in the air until later. So we'll see.
Cool. I think just subscribe to many of you in the chat. Can't wait to check out your videos. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for subscribing to a lot of great channels here, for sure. Candy Mom, thank you for that. $1.99. Steve, she wants to know your thoughts on Joey's World Hot Dog Contest.
So I've heard rumors about it. I've not seen it yet. I've been gone all day, but so I can't really comment on it. But I've heard that there was a spoof on our this and that hot dog thing. So
I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
So I have not seen it yet either.
All right, I'll have to watch it. I didn't even know about it. Yeah, for sure. I'll have to watch it. But Candy Mom, thank you for that. That's very nice. Thank you for that super chat, for sure. But all right, Steve. So it is 4th of July, and we've got to talk about it. There actually are a lot of different ways and things that are patriotic about Walt Disney World. Look, Walt Disney himself was a very patriotic person.
Yes,
he loved his country. He really did, and he made sure there were patriotic symbols galore everywhere, shows, this, that, and the other, you name it. And Disney has really done a good job of continuing that over the years since Walt has, passed on. They've really done a great job with that. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about all the different things, and some are obvious, and some are a little less obvious. And I think Steve's going to scratch his head on a couple of the ones I have on my list, but they are patriotic in some ways, for sure. Patrick Gillespie, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you as well. But Steve, do you have a list? Because I have a list. Do you just want to go off mine?
List.
You do have a list. All right.
We'll just go through your list. If I see any others, then
gotcha.
Then we can go
all right. So the first one on the list for me, very patriotic. I think this one is an obvious one. Is the Voices of Liberty over at Epcot. Very, very, very patriotic. They play all sorts of patriotic music. Sing patriotic songs. They're absolutely phenomenal. They do it inside the American Pavilion, right in the rotunda there, which helps to project their voices. So that was the first one I thought of, Steve, because I kind of went along what I could think of first, and then I kind of searched for other ones. But Voices of Liberty, you agree, disagree?
Oh, absolutely. Voices of Liberty is one of the best shows on property. When you go watch it, if you've never watched it, you're missing out.
Yes.
They have the round dome at the top that makes everything so acoustical that the sound just vibrates, and it sounds like there might be 40 or 50 people singing when it's only about a dozen. So, and they sing absolutely beautifully together in old time American costume, which would be hot in the first place. But yes, it is a fantastic show.
Yes. Their cues off of each other are very good as well. Nobody really sings over the person out of tune.
Nope.
They must practice 100 hours a day. 100 hours in a day, but man, they're always on point, aren't they?
Yeah, and they give 8 performances to 10 performances a day.
Yeah,
something like that. So, they're just great.
Yeah, they do such a great job. If Shep taught them to sing, then Shep can teach me.
Wow.
But they really, the Voices of Liberty, I agree with Steve. If you haven't seen this show, you're missing out. And if you're if you are patriotic, if you're a very patriotic person, you're missing out. You got to go see this. We hadn't seen it. Melissa and I hadn't ever gone for years, Steve. We just never got around to it. And one time we just happened to walk in 2 minutes before the show was going to start. And we're like, oh, well, we're here. And holy macaroni. It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Brian says Main Street's very patriotic. It's supposed to be themed for the early 20th century. Well, stick around. It might make the list. You never know. It might make the list. So patriotic for sure. Voices of Liberty. Great show. Well, next on the list, Steve, you know what? We might as well just stay where we are. We're going to stay right there. We're going to stay in the American Pavilion at Epcot. And we got to go watch the American Adventure.
Yes.
I mean,
greatest song, maybe, and one of the greatest songs in Epcot.
Which is?
I don't know what the Golden Dream. Golden Dream.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Took me a minute. Sorry.
No, that's all right. It took me a minute, too. That's why I asked you, because I couldn't remember. Again, and I'm going to ask you in a second, for us, we hadn't gone to see this in forever. Wow. We just hadn't. It's the American Pavilion. We know everything about America. Blah, 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 just being dumb, and we just never went. What I didn't realize Charlie and Stacy said, I hope you're loving these movies. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite, but so many good ones. Talking about all the Marvel for Carlos. I'm proud of you, Carlos. You're doing good, buddy. Steve, the one thing I noticed right off the bat that surprised me about the American Adventure show, I didn't realize how much space was behind the pavilion.
Oh, yeah.
How you have to go up the escalator and into this giant theater. Yep. I didn't realize all that was back there.
Disney does a very good job around Epcot as a showcase, world showcase of hiding things back there. And that's why a lot of people don't understand when everybody's like, oh, we could need to add a country. And everybody's, no, there's not enough room. There's enough room to add 8 more countries. And it's all because of the way it's done. All you need is just a little space up front because everything works as a pie wedge. And you can go all the way back. And yes, that it probably is the biggest pavilion, I think, by far. And it's got all that room back there. And yeah, that theater is just incredible.
It's beautiful inside, too. It's so beautiful inside. I'm very interested to see how they're going to do the spacing. I think I know how they're going to do it. Every other row.
Yeah.
And then probably 3 seats between parties and stuff like that. That's what they've been doing at Universal. I'm sure you'll do the same. But all the big statues, Steve, all the sculptures, phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Everything inside of that theater, phenomenal. It's beautiful in there. I love being in there.
It's a better theater than, honestly, than anyone else they got, even including the stage shows, not necessarily the entertainment, but the theater itself is absolutely gorgeous. It should be an attraction in itself, let alone the whole show. So it's really good. And if you haven't seen it, you're definitely missing out.
And it's neat because like the stages come up out of the ground and the different animatronics come like when they do the Statue of Liberty, when you see the torch and who's up there? Not Charles Dixon.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain is up there with Ben Franklin, right? I think.
Yep.
That's awesome. I don't know how they do that and how they have all that room underneath there to store all that stuff.
It's probably because you got to take the escalator up to the air, in the air. So.
Yeah, there you go. That's why it's all very. We're going above it as we go up the escalator. But it's very patriotic. It's so beautiful. It's done really, really well. It tells a story. I like it a lot for sure.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. Again, I know Dan has said this in the past. He says it's actually one of his favorite shows. It makes him feel patriotic, and he's British.
Well, that song is extremely powerful, and it's one of the best themed songs, probably on property. But I used to listen to that soundtrack before I even knew what the show was. I went and saw this show because of that song.
How about that? See, that's interesting. So. I didn't know that. And I have to be honest with you. I still have only seen this show one time.
Oh,
I've only seen it the once. Now we'll make it a priority to go see this again very, very soon. Probably when Epcot reopens right away, because we'll have so much more time. Because lines won't be anywhere near as bad as we expect them to be. So getting through things should be pretty quick. This is going to be a must-do again for sure. I'm kind of excited to see it again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, I'm hoping this is one of those things that they can figure out social distancing, because it's something I want to see again real soon.
Yep. But dance a brick.
Yes, he is.
Ask him tomorrow during our show. I'm going to bring this up really, really quick. Somebody remind me in the chat, and I will ask him, and he will tell you he really enjoys this show. It makes him feel something like, I can't remember what he said, but he said something like that. Anyway, it's really funny. So that was number 2 on my list. Now, to get really, really serious about patriotism, okay, we have to head over to the Magic Kingdom.
This, in my opinion, is number 1. So
Okay.
I think I know where you're going.
I know where you're going. I'm going a little bit different. This one's more serious.
Okay.
It's right next to that one. And they have the town crier that comes out. And it's Sam Eagle tells the story of the great moments in history, but only the American parts.
No, but mostly the American parts.
Mostly the American parts.
So yeah, the Muppets. I love the Muppets, and I was disappointed. We need more Muppet representation. We just do. And this was such a fantastic show, and people stopped to watch it. I don't understand why they cut it back, but they do it periodically. They do it seasonally around July 4th.
They would have done it today.
Yep.
It would have been one today.
So it's just, I just want them to do it. I just really want them to do it more often and have more Muppet stuff. But this was still kind of is, because it's still there. It is one of the best shows on property, in my opinion.
It's so fun.
It is funny. It's really, really, really funny.
It really is. It's so. First off, they tell the story of the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere.
Yep.
And then they tell the story of our independence. Isn't there a third story as well, or is it just?
I think there's like 5 or 6.
I can't remember. And I think they tell the Declaration of Independence story. But either way, whichever one you get, they put a certain Muppet spin on it. And you've always got Sam Eagle all the way up in the top window. And you got Miss Piggy trying to make sure she's included in on the show in some way. Mm-hmm. Gonzo's there. Of course, Kermit is there. And Fozzie is there. And it's just a fantastic. I don't care which one you watch. I think my favorite is still probably the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. It just makes me laugh.
They all make me laugh.
But I love them. Melissa's upset. Yep. She is upset that we got rid of that show. They want it back for sure.
When Melissa's down there, she can start petitioning for the Muppets to come back.
That's right. There you go. See, I agree 100%. And then, of course, you put Kyle Crier in the very beginning, the guy down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it always draws a crowd. It's never. I mean, even on hot days, you're going to have at least a moderate crowd that's going to stop and watch this show. Steve, imagine if they had this in an area that was a little bit more shaded or a little bit cooler, how much more popular it would be.
Any kind of benches at all to sit down. Anything.
I mean, they put it right in the middle of a major thoroughfare right there for people to walk by in the middle of the hot sun. Yeah, Stadler and Waldorf in there somewhere would have been funny. Oh, that would have been good for sure. Wendy says, what do we want? Muppets. Then do we want them now? Well, when do we want them? Now, of course. Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, Steve? You're right. We're going to stay right where you are. Again, right next door to the Muppets. And I know you're mad at me for this. I haven't seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
I haven't been able to. It's been closed. We're got to go to the Hall of Presidents. Probably the single most patriotic thing on Disney property. Intentional to show our history is, of course, the Hall of Presidents. See, I'll let you touch on it since you've seen
it. So, look, it is political. It's got all the presidents. Some you like, some you don't. Mm-hmm. Deal with its history. Mm-hmm. And it is one of the best shows on property. And I love the fact that it changes every time there's a new president. They go in, they put the new animatronic in. They're the
every time
front figure animatronic, and they, and then when that one is retired, they go sit amongst the other ones somewhere, and then they single out the bigger presidents like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, people like that, that had obviously some massive impacts on this country. But they not only do they do that, but they show it's a 3-screen. It goes 180 degrees almost. I don't know if it's exactly 180, but it goes from one side to the other. It opens up, and they show you movies. They tell you basically about how things happen, the progression. As they do that, certain presidents talk along the way. They're all animatronics, and they're very, very, very good. And they have things that rise and come out of the floor like the American Adventure. So
that's what I hear.
It's a really, really, really good show.
Yep, and I would love to see it. Rob Fuzz, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Rob's upset with me because I haven't seen the show. and James says to go back to the Muppets for a second. He said, international coalition forms demanding more puppets. Stay tuned. Melissa Gover and Wendy Lou Who. That's funny. Rob says it makes you proud to be an American. See, I've never seen this, and now I definitely do want to see it. I agree with Steve. I mean, it's going to, to the forefront is the sitting president. And I like that. It should be that. Whether you like the president or not, he's still your president. He's the president of the United States. Okay, he has a job to do, and I mean, maybe I'm being naive, but I feel they all do it to the best of their ability. They're trying.
Yep.
You may not like them, you may not like them, but I think they do. I think they ultimately are trying. And he's your president. And then you're right. And then from what I've seen as watching video, they bring the more prominent ones to the front, the ones that are the major ones.
There's 3 or 4 of them. We're talking about I think Teddy Roosevelt does something big in there as well. Mm-hmm. And the 2 big ones are George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln has a really big part in it. And then they turn around and Ben Franklin, he wasn't president. I'm sorry.
No, he wasn't.
Thomas Jefferson will speak when it comes to the Declaration of Independence, and just little blurbs from everybody. And actually, every single animatronic talks. Every single one of them.
Wow, how about that?
I think they all stand and say their name, or it's like a roll call, and they do them in order from George Washington to whoever the current president is.
Nice. Yeah, see, that's kind of neat. Yep. It's funny. I always thought I wasn't a big fan of him, but he did a lot. Was FDR? FDR actually had it was FDR. That's the reason why they went down to 2-term president.
Oh yeah, he was 4-term president.
He was in his 4th term when he passed away. He was in there for almost 14 years when he passed away.
Yeah, that's what developed term limits. Yeah. And they went back to they went back to 2 because that's what George Washington served, and they wanted him to stay on more. And he said no person should serve more than 2 terms.
One of the reasons why he's my favorite.
Yeah, even though he did, I mean, Franklin did. That's what they said when they put it in act. That's what they put it in act for, because George served 2.
Yeah, that's why I was one of the reasons why Washington is one of my favorites, is the fact that he could have been king if he wanted to. Yeah. He could have been. He could have been the king. And he said, nope, not what we're about. That's not what we do. We have terms, and no one person should rule forever. It was his vision, his forward thinking was pretty awesome. And Brian said President Trump is lucky to have a toupee. He gets out of office. I guess that's anybody, technically. Oh, that's so funny. But I would really like to see this show. I think it is highly, highly patriotic, emotional. Somebody said earlier about the American Adventure, they like the fact that they acknowledge the veterans. There's so many different nuances to all these shows that make them all wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just,
and they use the voices of the presidents too when they do this, so it's just really good.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now, I don't know if some of the old presidents, if that's really how they talked, or sounded, but
everybody they had recorded. Everybody they had recorded.
I know. I'm more kidding than anything else. They didn't have recordings back in the time of George Washington. They couldn't. But all right. So next up, this one, I got to go back to the Muppets for a minute, Steve. I was going to put these in the order, but since we were right there with all the presidents, we had to talk about it. Muppet Vision 3D. Mm-hmm. The very end of it.
Yep. Is the salute and the fireworks and everything.
It's so funny, but when he says, when Kermit says to him, he says, "Sam, are you ready?" And he goes, "Yes, it's a 3-hour extravaganza. You got a minute and a half."
Yeah, that's again, Muppets, incredible. And to be honest with you, I never paid. I've always seen that, know it's there. Never really paid that much attention to the patriotic part of it until they started doing great moments in history. So, but yeah, it's there. It's fantastic. I love that show.
Yeah, they sing the
Yeah, it's a disaster, but it works. So
it's phenomenal. It's great. It makes me feel so patriotic. It actually does. I think it's so. Sam Eagle is maybe the most patriotic being. I'm going to call him a being on the earth. He loves his country for sure.
Absolutely.
Did you see this point from Brian? I think this is interesting. He said when he was working at Disneyland, they had a rule: no sales during the flag retreat.
Yeah.
That's. I love that. I think that's great. I mean, you're talking 5 minutes. 5-10 minutes, but I'm okay with that. The hardest streamer on YouTube. Yes, I guess.
James is amazing.
James is awesome for sure. Recording didn't come out until sometime after. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So that makes sense. But yeah, I love the ending of the Muppet 3D. It's just so funny, and they give Sam his moment in the show too. It's just
that's Hollywood Studios, right?
That is Hollywood Studios. Yep, it's right over just before you head into Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah,
just before you head in there, they got the Muppet area, the Muppets Courtyard. Don't pass it up, folks. If you've never been over there, don't.
That is one of the best pre-show cues that people never ever pay attention to.
That's absolutely
hidden gems all throughout that thing.
Gotta read it. You gotta stop and read it.
And they don't even tell you what some of them are, but I'll just tell you one of them. Like one of my favorites, there's a net and he's got these cubes in it and you don't know what it is, and it's Jello. So it's a net full of Jellos, or a net full of Jello, a net of Jello. That's what it is. Or a net full of Jello. Or a net Funicello or whatever her name is. So it's incredible the way they do things. But there's hidden things with the Jim Henson in there. There's all kinds of stuff. So definitely pay attention. When you're in that pre-show, look around. Actually look at some of the stuff that's there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really, really is fantastic. I love the Muppets. And you know what, Brian? We're going to segue into that. I think probably another one for me. For Steve, I think this one is probably the most emotional of these. And right up there is one of the most patriotic is the flag retreat.
That's the one I was actually talking about when I said it's the best patriotic thing on property.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Hall of Presidents is number 2 for me.
Okay.
But the flag retreat ceremony is the greatest thing I think I've ever seen at Disney. So
it's pretty phenomenal, and I like Brian's. Brian said, of course, no sales, and he says when I was on Main Street on a Main Street cart, we had to remove our hats, put our hearts over our chest, and stand respectfully while it went on. I fully endorse that. I agree. Yep. Yeah,
that ceremony, for those of you who have not seen it, if you have any patriotism at all, this thing will make you just. It happens. I think it's either 5 or 6 o'clock every day, Eastern at Disneyworld. I'm sure they do it at Disneyland too. I don't know what time it is over there, but so they do it every single day. It's still going on right now. They still do it every single day during COVID and while they're closed, because it means something. And it's also the only real flag on property there at Magic Kingdom. Right. The rest of them are missing a star, missing a stripe, so that they don't have to be lowered. But this one, they do every single day. And he said it's at 4:45 at Disneyland.
Yep.
And so they do it every single day at Disney World. And the Main Street Philharmonic comes out and plays patriotic songs. There's always a special guest to help with them. There's always a special vet or someone currently in the military or a veteran that they pick out of the crowd to help with the retreat ceremony. It is as fantastic of a show that you will ever see anywhere.
I agree.
I love that thing.
Yep, I'm going to see it again. I've got so many things on the list now, but we saw it for the first time last year. Again, because usually you're in the park and you're all over the place at that time. I definitely loved this. I thought it was so moving, so patriotic. It was awesome. I loved it. I wanted them to do it again.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had to, and I didn't even know they did this. And a lot of people don't know they do this. I happened to stumble on it, and I absolutely love the Philharmonic or the
Philharmonic,
Philharmonic, Main Street Philharmonic. And I heard them start to play, and I stopped and looked over, and I thought, what are they doing? So I just started filming, and so I have it on. I got a show of it on my channel. I have the whole show. It's incredible.
It's
really
awesome.
really incredible.
It really is. And the veteran that they pick out of the crowd gets the flag for them. They get the flag.
Yes.
Yeah, they get to keep
So
it.
think about that. Disney goes through 365 flags a year at the Magic Kingdom.
Yep. Candy Mom says, I saw it on the live stream, so next visit I made it a point to go. It was moving. It really is. It's moving. James says the flag retreat is both emotional and patriotic. It is especially beloved by veterans. It happens at around 5 p.m. I do not miss it when I'm at the Magic Kingdom. Awesome. I agree, James. It's a can't miss. And Candy Mom Cynthia says, I wish I could get my brother to do it, but I know they are picked at random. Yeah, I think it is pretty much at random. And then Wendy says, I've never seen the flag retreat, but I think I'd find it moving. And I'm a Scot. You know what? Here's how I see it. I could go see something that is British, English, Scottish, German. It doesn't matter. If it has to do with their country and it's important to them, I would still find it moving out of respect and understanding the importance of what those things mean for me at my country, that I can understand it for them at their country as well. So Wendy, you saying that really doesn't surprise me, because I'm sure you would.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, patriotism doesn't have to be, everybody celebrates the same thing. It's just the manner and how you got there and your own current songs or whatever you want to, whatever you do it. But, independence is independence, and your patriotism is something you shouldn't take lightly no matter where you're from.
Yeah, I agree. Love your country for sure. All right, Steve, next one up for me. I've got a few more to go here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find this one kind of funny, but I think it's a little patriotic. It reminds me of my country a lot, actually, and that's eating at Liberty Tree Tavern.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I'm sorry. It's colonial times. It's back during the time of Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. It has their pictures in there. Mm-hmm. It's your standard American meal. It's your turkey and your gravy and your dressing.
It's Thanksgiving is what it is. It's Thanksgiving.
That's exactly right. Yep. So to me, and I do find it patriotic. I actually wish they still had the characters there. It used to be a character meal where they were dressed up in the colonial attire. They don't do it anymore. I wish they did. But that one makes the list. Did it make your list? Probably not.
Yeah, well, no, it's on there. I had it all of Liberty Square on there, but Liberty Tree is a good one. I've had lunch in there, and I think I had a burger at the time. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. I've never done I'm not a big turkey guy, so I at Thanksgiving I'd rather have like roast or something like that instead of turkey. But anyways, not a huge. And that's I think that's an all you care to eat meal, if I remember correctly. So it's a skillet full of stuff, and you just keep eating. I would much rather eat at the Diamond Horseshoe, as opposed to this, but it's still good regardless. Yeah,
Liberty Tree is a lot of fun. It's just it is patriotic to me. We enjoy it. I love seeing everybody dressed up in their colonial attire. It's just really, really awesome. Amy makes a point. I didn't know this, Steve. Welcome in, Amy, AJC Magic TV. She goes, also, after they're done at the flagpole, they march down to the little alley on the right side, which is, by the way, one of my favorite places on Main Street. And they do an ending ceremony. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good. Don't get me wrong. It's not as big or as grand as the flag retreat ceremony itself, but they do a little little thing over there.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that at all. And Addiction Mouse says, I've never eaten there, but I'd love to give it a try next time. I think you'd like it. Again, if you're into the Thanksgiving, the turkey and the mashed potatoes and stuff like that, it's definitely a good eat for sure. But Steve's right, too. Diamond Horseshoe is awesome as well. I've eaten there as well. All right, so there we go. From there, we're going to stay. Let's see, we already did Hall of Presidents. Oh, you know what else, Steve? I not really makes me feel patriotic, but I think that Disney does a good job for the Americans. And when this time of year comes around, is their merchandise. I think they're pretty good with their merchandise. 4th of July, they really have a good job usually of bringing out some really patriotic merchandise, whether it's ears or T-shirts or this, that, and the other. They always come out with. I really enjoy their merchandise for the patriotic time as well. They do. I think they do Memorial Day as well.
Yeah, I'm less enamored by the merchandise. I'm just not. I'm not a huge merch guy when it comes to just themed merchandise. I obviously love pins. I love Disney in general for stuff in my house, all that kind of stuff. But like as far as like theming it towards Halloween or 4th of July or any of those things, I'm not huge on that. But there might be one or two things that I see every year that I would like.
Really? See, and it's one of the things that I'm a big fan of for us, is I actually like the theme of the merchandise, like the Halloween merchandise. I almost am afraid to go into the stores because we feel like we're going to buy it all.
And I decorate with all Disney stuff for each holiday, but I get it at Walmart or Target or wherever, and it's good stuff instead of paying Disney prices, obviously. But so I have a lot of Disney merchandise for those seasons. It's just not something I flock there to see. Oh, what's new? For the holidays or the season. So
Sure.
Now who knows? Maybe if I was there more often during the holidays, that would be a thing.
Now we love it. We actually really love the themed merchandise. I think my favorite is Christmas time. I really love the Christmas merch. Oh my gosh.
Christmas is different. Yeah. I love going through I love the Christmas tree shop down at Disney Springs.
Yes.
I can just walk through that thing every day, but that to me, Christmas is a little different.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm with you there.
When you have Christmas year round, there's a reason why they have a Christmas store year round. So
yeah, it's true. I agree. But I do like the merchandise for the 4th of July. I think they really do it well. We were looking at it on our stream yesterday. We went into the small little store at the boardwalk. It was the only one that was open. But they had like a whole section for just 4th of July, and we're like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. They do a good job with their theming of these holidays, and 4th of July is no exception. Did you have another one on your list?
As far as more stuff, or are you done?
No, I have a couple more. I didn't know if you wanted to pick one off of yours.
Oh, one that I think this is kind of a stretch to some degree. But I think Walt Disney Presents, the show, has some sense of patriotism there, that we see Walt's beliefs and ideas. Like you said, he was a very patriotic man. You see some of that coming through in the actual movie in there, and in some of the designs and his thoughts for the American Pavilion and all that, the designing part aspects of things. So, and another ride that I have on my list is coming up here in a little bit, I guess. But he's again, he was a very huge patriot, and I think that that shows some through in some of the Walt Disney show.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely encompass that in Walt Disney Presents. They absolutely do. They make sure that you know that. So I'm with you 100% for sure.
Brian wants to know if you are going to continue your tradition of buying an ornament every trip to Magic Kingdom.
Not every trip, no. Not every trip, because I might go in 1 week. I might go 4 times. No, but I will be buying one for sure. Don't worry, we'll be buying them. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do that, Brian. I'd be in trouble too. And Wendy, I think that's a great idea. She says, "I'm going to make Scottish ears for coming over." I think you should. I think that's fantastic. I think you should. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So next one for me, Steve. I'm gonna we'll kind of go back and forth for the next 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
Brian mentioned it earlier, and it really is it's Americana. It definitely is a sign of patriotic. It's Main Street, USA. It really. I mean, it's even got the name right in there, USA. It's very patriotic. It's your Americana. It's your Main Street. We all have them in our cities. It's a throwback to simpler times, how life used to be in small town America, and it's a way for us to never forget that, which I think is really, really fantastic. There's so many different nuances to Main Street that shows your patriotism. Like you said, above all these flags, even though they're missing a little something, they're there to remind you every single day. I love Main Street. Was that on your list?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just the the way it's themed, they always seem to have the red, white, and blue banners across the windows, and just when you come through Main Street, you may not think about it at the time, but when you start walking down Main Street, you're not going to think, I'm in Germany or I'm in wherever, any other country. You're going to know you're in America walking down that street with the way everything is. You got the barbershop quartet. You've got the Dapper Dans. You've got, your Casey Jones hot dogs, which is all American food. And it's just, you've got it's American theming down the whole entire thing. So yeah, it's 100%.
Yep. And speaking of Main Street, one of the other things they do on Main Street, and I wish Daniela from A Disney Life was here, because they have the Main Street Trolley Show.
Yes. Yes, for sure. And it is incredible, believe it or not. I saw it on my last trip 2 trips ago and filmed it again. And these people started, I saw the horse coming. I thought, I'm going to start filming this. I started filming the horse coming. And then 2 more people passed me in costume and walked right in front of me. And I just kind of looked at them. I thought, where are they going? And then, of course, they all just stop and start dancing and singing on the trolley. So
it's awesome, though. I mean, it really is awesome. They'll sing "Walking Right Down the Middle of Main Street." They'll sing some other songs that are a little bit more seasonal, which is really cool too. They'll change up their outfits, but it's Americana. It really is patriotic in a lot of ways, and it's definitely, we can connect with it for sure. I love the Main Street Trolley Show. I think they're a lot of fun.
Yep, for 100% for sure.
Yep. James says Walt Disney's welcome in 1955 showed his patriotism. A portion of his welcome said, "The ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts which have created America." There you go. Yep. He does it all the time. Sure. And Candy Mom said she just went to Shop Disney and got more pins.
A lot of pins.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. All right, Steve, what's next on your list? I've got
next on my list, and let me go back to. This is going to tie these two together, but going back to Walt Disney Presents, I found what I was looking for. The script for Walt Disney Presents itself starts out with this line: Walt Disney loved the idea of progress, and he loved the American family. He himself was probably as American as anybody could possibly be. That's how the attraction starts out. That also rings true to the next one, which I hate, but it's Carousel of Progress. And even Carousel of Progress represents the American family to a T, from the 1940s anyways, but it goes through the history of some of those moments in an American family growing up, sitting by the fireside, listening to the radio, things like that. And as much as I don't like it, it still represents American culture and American history.
Yeah, absolutely. From the turn of the century to what at that time would have been the future. But it does. It shows that in a lot of ways we've changed progress-wise, but in a lot of ways, we're still the same. We're still an American family. We still, we still sit down together. We still, we still have progress together. Steve, I know you're not a fan of it. I really, as I used to not be. The more I've seen it, the more I've grown to admire it, and I actually do like it for what it is. It's okay to me. It's a relaxing 15 minutes to get out of the sun.
15? It's 45 minutes.
Is it 45 minutes?
I think it's 40. Yeah, let me look it up. I think it's 40, maybe 40 or 42.
Really? I must be liking it even more because it doesn't feel like it's that long. It doesn't feel like it's that long, but I like all the little nods to America. Like they have the 4th of July scene in the summer when they're getting ready to go and the daughter's got to dress up as Lady Liberty.
Nope. I am wrong. This thing, maybe it just seems like it's 45 minutes every time I'm in there. It says 21 minutes. I was for sure it's a lot longer than that.
Okay.
But it says it's only 21 minutes. Yeah. Maybe it just seems like eternity every time I ride it.
It's neat. I don't know. I don't mind it. I like the song. But it does have its patriotic tones to it and moments for sure. For sure. I agree.
It's an ordinary American family.
Yeah.
Just going through progression in life. So
I agree. Yep. That one made my list too. Next one for me, I had to look this one up. I knew about it, but Steve, you're gonna be mad at me. I've never seen this because I haven't. I don't know if you've seen this or not. I haven't seen it, but it doesn't come out all the time. The Fife and Drum Corps.
Yes.
Okay.
They go around the World Showcase down by the American Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, we haven't seen them. We haven't seen them. It's
wow.
the ones on the drums and Melissa and I haven't seen them yet. Well, first off, we're never down in Disney on the 4th of July ever, and usually that's when they're the most prominent time of being out. We've never seen them, but I hear they're very, very good.
They are very good. It's if you ever like, I mean, so I was in a marching band, and obviously when a drum line is everything to everything in a marching band. I don't know why I like listening to them, but I do. And just to hear a drum corps do what they do is pretty awesome. And then for those guys to do it in those costumes, which they got to be 120 degrees
right
inside those things, it's just incredible how they do it every day. Every time. This one's not every day, but it's still incredible to do. And I can see why they don't do that one all the time. Number one, drums are good. Not that Disney cares about the cost, but drums are expensive. They take a lot to fix. You go beating on them all the time, every day. Plus, you got to have very skilled people. It's not something you can just go, "Hey, come in here. We'll teach you how to play the drums." It doesn't work that way. No. So it's something special. And if you get to see it, it's highly recommended.
Yeah, we haven't seen it, but I've heard very good things about it. And that's what James said. The Fife and Drum Corps come out at American Adventure, but they're only out every once in a while. Yeah, it's just not that prominent all the time. Wow, Wendy says Fife is a region in Scotland. That's interesting. How about that?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So 2 more on my list, Steve. I don't know about you, but I got 2 more.
Okay.
The next one for me, it just reminds me of America, and again, it's supposed to be patriotic. It's supposed to be part of reminding us of our history. It's Frontierland.
Yeah.
The frontier. That's what America is. It's all about exploring the frontier, moving west, expanding the United States. That's what it's all about. I mean, Frontierland, and that whole thing. That's what it is. Whether it's Splash Mountain or the West, or Big Thunder out towards like the Grand Canyon and those areas. Mm-hmm. Frontierland to me is a patriotic, a little bit more subtle, not as out in your not on purpose, but it's a subtle patriotic callback to a lesser time or a simpler time.
Yeah, it's like basically the childhood of America. Basically, is what it refers to. In back in the days when we didn't have technology and we didn't have all the things that we have now, and it's not so much about gaining our independence, but it's about creating what we've gained with our independence. Yeah. So I think it's I agree with you. Frontierland's pretty neat to go through. It's got some really good attractions too, like Splash Mountain. But it's a great way to pay. You wouldn't think about paying patriotism, but it's a remembrance of early American history. Sure,
it's definitely exploring, progressing, moving on, becoming a bigger country. I mean, that's what they did.
Well, and Big Thunder Railroad is like the old mine cars, like it's a runaway train through the mines and everything, and which is what they used to do the gold rush and everything back then too. So they got some really incredible rides over there. They need to get rid of the country bears, but other than that, we're okay. It's a good area. So go ahead.
James Ryan says, particularly if you include the steamboat and Tom Sawyer Island, the frontier and the westward movement defined us. It really, really did. It was part of what helped us to get us there.
He also says he's got an apple pie on the counter, which is making me hungry. That is 103-year-old grandma made from scratch. That is incredible.
That's fantastic. I can't do my best, Brian, if he's delivering. That's funny.
That was Brian. Brian that typed in.
That's true. That's so funny. All right, Steve. Any more for you? I got one more, and I
got one more.
All right, go ahead.
Liberty Bell.
Well, no, I wasn't going to do that one actually.
Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't. I think that's as patriotic a symbol as there is in.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's not just the Liberty Bell, but it's the fact that it's Liberty Bell with all the poles and I think there's all flags around it and everything. It's just a really it's not a show, it's not an attraction, but it is an icon and a staple on a symbol of American patriotism.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't think I don't know why. I forgot it. Like I said, I just listed ones off the top of my head, and you're right. That's obviously it's the Liberty Bell, for crying out loud. It's fantastic. It's an incredible symbol of our independence.
And the display is gorgeous too.
Yes. Yep.
Especially if you go back and watch Corey Meets World's fireworks shows that he does all the time, when he used to go around and end there, and he would end with his camera at the Liberty Bell looking up through the flags, and you could just see the fireworks behind him. It's really, really patriotic looking. If you've never seen them from that location, when you go back, go do it, man. It's good.
Yeah, agree. Well, my last one was just the 4th of July celebrations themselves at Disney World. The fireworks on the 3rd and the 4th. They're 360-degree fireworks now. They go all around it. They are phenomenal fireworks. They're some of the best you'll ever see. They're playing the patriotic music as they're going off. It's just it's a do not miss if you're down there. Even if you watch it at one of the resorts, go to the Poly, go to the Grand Floridian, go to the Wilderness Lodge. I think maybe you can even see some of it there, and watch them from there if you don't want to get into the mass of humanity that is the Magic Kingdom. I think Epcot does a special show as well. I don't know how they're going to do it now that Illuminations is gone, but I know they used to. It's just how they encompass those fireworks on the 4th of July is amazing. That was my last one.
No, I mean, yeah, that's an obvious one. I didn't put it down on my list, but that is an obvious. They do the Celebrate America fireworks show at Magic Kingdom, and then they do. It's everything is themed. They retheme the fireworks to. They have these red, white, and blue ones that pop out, the circles and the stars in the middle of them. I mean, they're just incredible awesome fireworks. So
I think they do such a great job. They definitely don't shortchange it at all for the holiday. They make sure that Disney shows their patriotism too. They show how much they love America and what this country has done for them as well. So it's a nice reminder every 4th of July for sure. Love it for sure. But there you go, folks. That's our list. That's our 4th of July celebration things at Walt Disney World. Steve, as I was doing the list, I didn't realize there were that many. I was thinking, I'm going to find 3 or 4. I had like almost 15 on this list, and some of them weren't even on my list that were on yours.
Yeah, they're subtle. A lot of them are subtle. I mean, obviously, when you start thinking, most everything is in Liberty Square or the American Pavilion. I mean, they're that way intentionally because that's what they're supposed to be themed towards. So you're going to find them. The other ones are kind of a stretch. You got to look for them, but they do have subtle hints of patriotism or remembering America at a different time. So there's a lot of things in there.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. It's one of the things Disney does really, really well.
Melissa, I love fireworks. You should be happy you can't see them at Disney. You should be able to just go outside and sit on your driveway. That's what I'm going to do here if it gets dark.
We're the grumpy old man. The guy that says, "Get off my lawn."
Walter Matthau.
Yeah, well, Walter here. That's us. That's how we are. We're like, we just want to.
You're the party poopers.
Oh my God.
You're the mom and dad. You're the mom and dad of the community there to keep us all from having fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's us. Everybody hates us.
No, not at all.
I'm just kidding. Well, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe now they might. Walt and them don't like fireworks.
That when people find out around here, anyways, that you don't like fireworks, we just bring them closer to your house and light more off. So.
Nice. That's great. Oh my gosh. No, I love fireworks. Please, more.
I did not call Wild a buzzkill, but not gonna not call him a buzzkill. No, I'm just kidding. So in my edition here, we have people go all out for fireworks, and they light them off like starting 2 weeks early. And but I can sit in my driveway and see as from one corner of my house all the way around to the other corner of my house, and then if you turn around and go behind the house, you can see it too. And there's just fireworks going off for like 3 solid hours, nonstop.
Oh,
all over the place. Right here in my street, in these little houses that live next to me, there's 5 people that came up. We were all having a block party earlier. 5 of them came out today and showed off their firework collection. looks more like than what Disney would shoot off every night. So, and that's just right here, let alone everywhere else that's going to be lighting them off tonight. There's a church across the street somewhere that they light off a bunch of fireworks, and it's just really cool.
That's funny. Fernie67, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Melissa goes, look, I am getting old because I am not enjoying that. I told you it's just who we are now. Oh, that's too bad. Cynthia says the city canceled it, so no telling who is doing it. Well,
I found out a lot of cities here, anyways, are still doing them today. They're not. There's not a location where you can go sit and watch them. You just got to sit in your cars.
Right.
So, but they're still doing them.
Yeah, for sure. Some are, but there are places that have said no. I know where my mom and dad live in Delaware. They're not supposed to be doing them. So, but I'm sure there's people that are doing them.
Yeah,
you know how that goes, for sure. Well, guys, thank you all very much tonight. It's 4th of July. I'm sure there's people out having parties and gatherings and get-togethers and things like that, watching fireworks shows or other things. Thank you for spending your time with us here tonight with Steve and I. We enjoy it. Again, we say this every week. I say it every single time. You have a choice of where you spend your time. You chose to spend it here with us, and your time is precious, and it means the world to us that you would spend it here with us, and we appreciate that very much. Steve, any last words, buddy?
No. Thanks for having me. Love you guys, and it's an honor to come in here and hang out with you every week, man. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, it's honor's mine. I appreciate it too, man. But the big honor for us are you guys in the chat. You're all fantastic. We thank you for being here. You're what helps keep us going each and every day to do these streams, and we just enjoy it. Some quick housekeeping. Is Shep going live at 9:30 tonight, Steve? Or
10 o'clock tonight.
10 o'clock tonight. Okay, so Shep's going live a little bit later. He'll be going live at 10. Be sure to check him out. I'll be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Dan's channel for our next Disney movie review as we review Homeward Bound. Got a lot to say about this one. Finally saw it for the first time, so we'll have a lot to talk about. Steve will be back on Monday with just another Monday night. We'll be back on Tuesday with Insanity. And guys, we're less than a week away from Walt Disney World reopening.
I'm less than 18 days away from a vacation.
Yep, there you go, Steve.
Hopefully.
Yep, it's an exciting time. It's going to be nice to get back in those parks, but still be mindful, folks. No matter who you are, be mindful of the social distancing, the masks. Let's keep these parks open. Let's not just open them for a few weeks and then have to shut them back down. Let's try to keep the positivity going. There's a lot of negativity out there, but let's try to do our part to bring these numbers down, to get things moving forward back to normalcy. If we can do that, we'll get there, and we'll get there at a good rate too. We really will. We really will. But Steve, thank you, brother. I appreciate it very, very much. And everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.